Rich flavors, decadent goodness. I got you. Let's go all in. Let's go. Welcome back to Kiwi Dad's Kitchen. I'm Kyle Willoughby. I'm a Kiwi Dad. This is my kitchen. And on this week's recipe, we're making pasta alla Zozzona. Now, pasta alla Zozzona is an all-in, all-flavoured pasta. A little bit of a history lesson to give you some context. So there are 4 classic Romano pastas. Cacio e pepe, pasta alla Gricia, pasta carbonara, and pasta alla matriciana. These basically all build on each other. So, cacio e pepe is essentially pasta with cheese and ground pepper. You add guanciale to the mix. Guanciale is a kind of like a bacon type of thing. So guanciale and cacio e pepe gives you pasta alla Gricia. You add egg yolk to the mix, you've got carbonara, and you add tomato to that mix, you've got pasta alla matriciana. Now somewhere in history somebody went, hey, what happens if we stick them all in one pot? This is what happens. Pasta alla Zozzona translates as something akin to a dirty pasta, because it's not sort of the healthy living, let's eat light and let's have just a nice quiet meal. It's let's go big. So let's go big. So ingredients wise, now there's a couple of things that I need to call out that are a little bit different. So firstly, cheese. I've got Pecorino Romano here. Now Pecorino Romano is a sheep's cheese, as the Romano name would suggest, from Rome. It's got quite sort of a sharp, salty flavour. You can normally find this in your supermarket. If you can't find it, Parmesan works absolutely fine. This just gives us more of an authentic flavour. And I mentioned earlier guanciale. Now guanciale is a cured pork product along the same lines as bacon, not very easily found. This is pancetta. Now pancetta, again, is kind of along the same lines as a bacon product. It's a cured pork. You can usually find this in your supermarket fridge. If you can't find it, bacon works absolutely fine, but this just kind of gives us more of that authentic look. So we've got our pecorino, we've got our pancetta. The recipe calls for Italian sausage. You really just need to find yourself a nice sausage or a nice flavored sausage. So you can get like pork and fennel, that sort of thing. Whatever's going to give you that flavor profile that you like. We're going to be using egg yolks in the recipe as well, tomato paste and tomato passata, onion, and for pasta we've got rigatoni. Now again, if you can't find rigatoni in your supermarket, penne works absolutely fine. You're just looking for something sort of a tubular type that's going to give you that nice mouthfeel. And I think for the first time in the last 2 recipes, I've actually remembered all the ingredients, so let's get going. Oh yeah, salt and pepper as well. I was this close! Now those of you that know my recipes will probably currently be thinking, hang on, where's the garlic? This is one of the few occasions where I'm not using garlic in a recipe. Trust me, I feel weird as well. But anyway, so first thing we're going to do is cube up this pancetta, and we're also going to dice the onion, and we're going to remove the skins from the sausage. So I'm only going to use about half this pack of sausages, remove the skin so we can get that sausage meat out, and then we'll start moving over to the fry pan to start making the magic happen. So cubing up the pancetta, it's literally just slicey dicey. So we're just wanting sort of a reasonable cube, probably about 1 centimetre-ish cubed. It's not an exact science, as we know. And we're just going to dice that down till we get about the size cube that we want. Now, I need to be mindful of the fact that this is a peppered pancetta, so if you are using something along those lines, just be aware of that when it comes to doing your seasonings, because obviously you don't want to over-season something like this. But we're just going to dice that down until you ultimately get a fine dice or a reasonably fine cube like this. Next thing we're going to dice is the onions, and you've all seen me do that before, so ta-da, diced onions. And finally we're going to just remove the sausages from their skins. So we've got half a dozen sausages here, probably actually going to use 4 of these. So we're just going to get our sausages here, and it's pretty much just taking a little bit of time to relieve them of their casings. Now, if, like me, you're fortunate enough to have a furry creature at home that can dispose of said casings, so much the better, but it's really just a case of getting these out of their skins, because we're going to ultimately be breaking this meat up when we're cooking it. So it does require a little bit of care, delicacy, and patience. I'm usually good at 2 of those things. So we'll just, out you come. There we go. Okay, so we're wanting the good stuff on the inside, and the casings can go wherever. So here we have our sausages ready to go, we've got the onions ready to go, the pancetta's ready to go. Couple more steps, then we're ready to hit the stovetop. For the recipe, we're just going to need the egg yolks, so we just need to separate these eggs out and just get those yolks into this bowl here. So you can save the whites for later on, make an egg white on little meringues or something. It's entirely up to you. That can go in there. Finally, we're just going to grate our cheese down. So if, like me, you are using Pecorino Romano, go in and grate it as fine as you can. Likewise with the Parmesan, you want to go for a reasonably fine grate. One of the things that I love about recipes like this is it doesn't actually give you a quantity of cheese that you need. It just says Pecorino Romano. So I take that as meaning, well, Pecorino, Parmesan, garlic, you can never have too much. So put in as much as you like till it tastes good, and then you know you've got enough. So we've got a Pecorino grated, we've got our eggs separated, all the meat and everything's prepared. Let's head to the stovetop and start making things happen. Well, okay, maybe not quite yet. First thing we're going to do actually is just get some of this pecorino into our egg yolks. And we're just going to whisk that up to make a nice little paste. And that we're going to put to the side, and that's going to come in right towards the end of the recipe, but we may as well get that ready to go now. So over to the fry pan. Now, first things first, the pancetta, or guanciale if you're using it, or bacon if you're using that, goes into a cold fry pan, and we're going to turn that fry pan on now. Reason it goes in cold is you want that fat to render out of your meat. So we just want that to start nice and cool, and that is going to cook that through slowly initially until it renders all the fat out, and you're just going to get these lovely flavors in the bottom of your fry pan. So we're going to kick this off. And you can hear as the fry pan starts coming up to temperature, sizzle as the pancetta starts cooking, and you can see in the base of the fry pan there, the fat's rendering out of it, which is just going to give us this delicious flavor in the bottom of the fry pan. So it's going to move this around. We want to get this nice and golden brown, and then once we've got to there, we're going to remove this from the fry pan and move on to our next ingredient, which will be the onions. You can see those oils and fats are just rendering out of that pancetta beautifully. So we've got a nice crispy, almost golden colour going on. So that's about where we want the pancetta. So we're just going to remove that and just pop that aside in a plate for later. We want to try and keep those oils in the bottom of the fry pan, because those are going to help us cook our onions and sausage as well. Just get all those out of the fry pan. You can see that lovely residue that's just left sitting on the bottom of the fry pan. That is flavor country right there, so you want as much of that as you can. Pop in a splash of olive oil there as well, and in with those onions. You want to cook them for a couple of minutes till they're nice and translucent. And then once they've had a couple of minutes, we're going to introduce our sausage as well. And just break that down nice and fine and fry that off. So again, you're going to get a lot of oils and flavourings out of that sausage as well. So just smush it down. Now traditionally at this point we'd be adding chilli flakes as well, but I'm making this as a lunch for the family, and I know that certain members of the family are not terribly keen on chilli, so if you want to throw some chilli flakes in here, now would be the ideal time to do so. You can omit them as well though for flavour. Once your sausage is nice and cooked through, the onion is nice and translucent as well, we're going to go in with about a tablespoon or so of tomato paste. Just mix that through. And then you want about 4 cups, give or take, of tomato passata. So this is a 700 gram jar, so you probably want about 2/3 of the jar. Roughly. One for luck. There we go. I'm going to drop that down to a simmer. Mix all this through. Now at this point I've started my pot in the back here as well. So we're just going to drop this down to a simmer. Let this simmer for about 15 or so minutes. So I'm just going to mix that through until it does get down to a simmer. I'm just going to season this as well with a little bit of salt and pepper. Remembering we've got some pepper on that pancetta, so we're probably not going to go too nuts with the pepper. Just mix that all through. And that can just simmer uncovered for about 15 minutes to get all those flavours intermingled and introduced and feeling very happy with themselves. So we've got our pot of water boiling away nicely here. Obviously I've salted that water, and we're just going to go in with about 400 grams-ish of our rigatoni. So about that, maybe a couple more. So we're going to go in, and the packet says that we cook for 10 minutes. We're going to leave this on for about 8 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 8 minutes because we want to finish cooking this in our sauce so it really kind of takes on the flavours of that tomato concoction that we've got here. So we've got that up to a boil. 8 minutes on the timer. I'll see you in 8 minutes. And just while that pasta is cooking, if you notice that your sauce is starting to get too condensed or too thick, you can just add a little bit of water to it just to loosen it up a bit. You don't want to go too thick just at the moment because we still want to be able to finish our pasta in this sauce. And then after 8 minutes, once we've got that pasta to just off of al dente, we're going to reintroduce our pancetta. Just give that a quick mix through. And then, ever so delicately, add in our rigatoni. And we're going to want to give that a good mix through as well. And the idea is that you finish cooking your pasta in the sauce so that that sauce just really gets imbued into that pasta, gives you that delicious rich flavour. And it really helps to finish that dish off. So we're just going to kill the heat on that mixture that we've got there, and we've got our egg and pecorino mixture that we're just going to add a little bit of that pasta water to make a nice creamy sauce. So we're just going to mix that in. And then the final step, this is going to go into, actually I must put a little bit more pasta water into that. So you want that pasta water because that's going to give you the lovely starchy flavours as well. So just add a bit more to that. It's looking more like it. I'm going to add that to our mixture as well. And mix all this in to give us the creamy finish that we are going for. And that is looking amazing. So good final mix to get everything engaged. Get that sauce nice and creamy. Oh my word, this looks good. And we are about ready to serve. So we're just going to get a goodly serving of this incredibly rich, decadent pasta. And because you can never have too much pecorino, we're just going to throw a bit of pecorino on the top there. Boom, lunch is served. There's no truth to the rumor that I added more pecorino to this while I was getting myself set up. That's a lie. We are going in to give this all-in Romano pasta a bit of a mouth. Smells heavenly. Just rich goodness. The texture of the sausage, the creaminess of that sauce, this is just amazing. So you've really got to try this. As always, recipes downstairs. Get amongst it. This is absolutely incredible. You will love it. And that's it for another episode of Kiwi Dad's Kitchen. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support you've been giving me. Some of those videos have just absolutely blown up in recent weeks, and it means so much to me to see this channel growing and to see people joining in with this passion project of mine. I really do appreciate everybody getting behind me. Thank you so much. Please remember, I do have all the usual socials, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Go and support me on there as well, and share it with your friends, like, subscribe, usual YouTube stuff. Again, thank you so much. So until we meet again, remember, as always, some is a perfectly acceptable ingredient when you're cooking, particularly when you're using things like pecorino or parmesan or garlic. Some is definitely a requirement there. I'll see you next time on Kiwi Dad's Kitchen. Have a great week. See you later on.